In a previous video from 9 months ago, I discussed the sequence break in Half-Life 2 Episode 2, which allows you to do a couple funny things, including spawning infinite Vortigaunts and permanently removing Alyx from your save file. The sequence break works because when you enter a new level that the developers decided was a point of no return, the following level is assigned the property New Level Unit. This property is designed to save file space, deleting any data from the previous maps, because it's just no longer needed. For this map in particular, it's incredibly easy to return to the previous map using props scattered around the next chapter. If we return and circle around the map, it plays as if we had never been there before, so we can redo cutscenes and even play through the entire previous map. Because our allies are assigned the property Always Transition, we're able to take them back with us to the previous map and double them up. In a video from before, I went into a few different side effects this sequence break can cause. Of these, one just stuck with me, permanently deleting Alyx. So I decided to see how far you can progress without Alyx, who's kind of vital to saving White Forest. So to recap how we get to this state, when going through the previous level on your second time, your allies are duped. This later down the line messes up a few parts of your journey to pick up the level extract. It mixes up voice lines, facial animations, and even lets us see a ghostly apparition of Alyx. Towards the end of the chapter, when Alyx is still recovering in the elevator, you can sprint to the next chapter's map. With that, Alyx is permanently gone from your save file. Why this happens in just this case, I'm actually not too sure. Some sauce spaghetti that we are purposefully throwing right at the ground and then stamping on it is resulting in Alyx's permanent disappearance. After defeating the Antlion guards, we're supposed to enter the lift to the next map. Problem is, the lift won't budge. If we open the console at this point, we're faced with the consequences of our own actions. The console is confused and crying and searching for Alyx. To get around this, I prop-hopped up the elevator shaft, and there's a massive piece of collision blocking us from reaching the exit. The collision's only disabled when we ride up the elevator properly. To make this even better, the map has plenty of invisible collisions surrounding it, making it difficult to go over it or under it, so I guess that means we have to go through it. To get through this collision, we have to use our first major trick, prop clipping. When you sandwich a prop between yourself, it's mostly stable and stays in place, though occasionally the prop can jitter. Catching this jitter with a well-timed save load makes the game believe you are inside of that prop. The engine doesn't really like that, so it calls a function which looks for areas it can place you outside of that prop. In many cases, this just ends up pushing you downwards, right into the collision we want to be in. If we continue save loading, we'll keep going downwards right through the collision we want to be in. So to redirect this, we can use something explosive to redirect our velocity. I chose to use this canister, but a barrel or an SMG grenade does the trick just great. After save loading once, we lose all of this stored velocity, so you have to do a save load buffer. By saving in between your save loads at the right time, before the game even gets to draw your screen, you keep your velocity. How often you have to save load is dependent on how quickly your game loads and how quick your PC is. With my setup, it took about 30 consecutive save loads, but again, the explosion strength and other factors may vary your results dramatically. And we're through the elevator. I assumed that once we passed the next map, the gods would bless us with a new Alyx, but unfortunately not. Following through, we get a one-sided conversation from the Vortigaunt.
That condition will not last long if you plunge into the toxins below.
It starts fixing the mounted gun, and under normal circumstances, Alyx would hack this energy field open. There is another way through, though. A multi-story death drop. Probably not the best idea. Though at the bottom there is a crate. Using the 0-point energy field manipulator's magic, we can drag it right up to us and then use it to prop up over this fence. With a few tricky jumps, we can make it into this conveniently placed hole in the ceiling. The area plays as usual, and when we reach the sniper section, we hear a familiar voice. Don't be fooled by these voice lines. This is just a Combine soldier trying to deceive us. Own that fraud with a grenade. These voice lines play globally, regardless of her presence. At the end of this map, the Vortigaunt wishes you farewell, and you can proceed to the next map. But right when the Vortigaunt is meant to power the generator to open the gate, it falters. The game is still searching for Alyx's NPC to commence the sequence, so you don't leave her behind. Another workaround is needed. To get through this, it's actually pretty simple. By using a prop to hop up this wall, and dropping downwards behind the bridge, we can do a sneak attack. I originally planned to prop clip, but it turns out you don't need to. Due to some janky collision around this area of the gate, if you simply crouch and then spam jump around this area, you can reach a sweet spot where the engine believes you're completely stuck. With this, you can save load straight down into the tunnel and move right into the next map. My hopes of meeting Alyx again are stumped, but the game does equip us with our dope-ass car. The map proceeds as usual, drive around like a boss, mess with cables, and kill the hunters. Again with our dope-as-hell car. After this meetup, we enter the outpost. The usual cutscene starts, but without Alyx hacking the screens, we only get some audio transmission. Very angry audio transmissions where Magnuson is being horrid and mean to us.
I expected you hours ago. Don't you understand the gravity of the situation? The survival of Earth depends on the data you carry.
We can't even tell him they're sending forces to White Forest. Leaving the outpost normally, Alyx would open a gate for us and let our pretty slick car through to the other side. But you get the idea. This gate is super tall, but using accelerated backhopping to launch ourselves off this little incline, we're able to clear the invisible wall on top of the gate and get to the next section. Later, stumbling into the barn, we meet the advisor, but I guess we can let him live? It's a really chill environment in there, actually. I'm not sure if I was invited though, so let's just let the advisor be. Without the Combine to kick our ass and open this gate for us, we have to get over it. Clearing it with a ramp and accelerated backhopping, I was able to get past this invisible wall again. To be rudely interrupted by a great telepathic message telling me to not leave Alyx behind. Whatever that means. Taking a look above shows these triggers are everywhere. My first attempt to get past this was trying to see if the car without Alyx still triggered this fail message. But how do I get the car over there? Well, save load buffering works interestingly with vehicles. A clear example of this is early in Half-Life 2. There are a bunch of Combine vehicles that drive to ambush you. By save load buffering them, you can launch the cars with your mind. And every time you save load, the speed increases by an exponential amount. This doesn't just work on the Combine vehicles, it also works on any car that the player can drive. So using this, plus the right ramp, I was able to fly right into the next area. But the game does check the car for Alyx. Pesky game designers. Back to the drawing board. If we look back at the triggers from earlier, they only extend outwards to cover the road. But there is a section to the side of the road you can't normally get to, and these aren't covered by the triggers. So we could avoid the triggers entirely by getting there. By prop hopping over the cliff edge, we can reach that area and get to the end of the map without being yelled at by Vortigaunts about something Alyx. At the end, we can prop hop back over the fence and return to the next map. Simple. The next map starts like all the others, until we reach an Alyx trigger. These are much bigger and cover so much more of the intended map. Right at the beginning of the map there's a train, and by prop hopping up this train and crossing over the bridge, we can skip the trigger. The devs definitely put the bridge here so we could do that. It's perfect. Let's continue through. Though, I forgot at the end of the map you need to hit this blockade with the car to enter the cutscene. Backtracking to an earlier save, we can launch the car using the cool trick we learned earlier, and skip the trigger and smash right through the blockade. There's another Alyx trigger for this cutscene? Guess the car trick really has no use for this run. So, I guess back to the drawing board again, skip the car, and get to the ending section using the first method. Prop hopping around some incredibly weird invisible walls allows us to enter that cutscene area a little different. And from here, the cutscene sort of starts. A few bombs are scripted to drop, and then we fight the chopper as usual. The cutscene appears to play. One of the Resistance NPCs sort of pops in to say their line, but won't budge, and we need them to budge to open this door for us. But, of course, we have to do all the work around here, even if the Resistance sees us as a deity, or whatever. Using prop clipping, we can get into this room from behind, and this is normally where we transition the level and get to the next map. But I realized that the level change trigger is based on a cutscene with Alyx. If we open the map in Hammer, we can see that the trigger is there, but it starts disabled, and it's only enabled when Alyx herself chooses to trigger it. Without Alyx, we're stuck on this map, and this is the final wall of this challenge, a wall that can't be broken. I have no Alyx, and I must scream. So, unfortunately, this is as far as we can get. Manipulating this is impossible because it's directly tied to Alyx herself. There aren't any change level triggers hidden on the map. The only way to get the good ending is to delete your save and bring her back. So, goodbye. Thanks for watching.